Hello everybody, welcome to Raycom TV. I'm Tom and it's great to have you in the studio with us. Now it's a really exciting day for us here because it's another one of our trademark walk tests. To help me with this walk test, I brought in Jack. Jack is from Shure and it's a brand new Shure product we're talking about. So Jack, over to you.
So we're going to be talking about the ADX5D, which is a drop-in camera receiver for the Axient Digital platform. So this opens up location sound recorders to the whole Axient Digital portfolio.
Now, you may or may not have seen our walk tests before, so we have Mr. Pyers Easton downstairs, our resident RF guru. Pyers, how are you doing down there?
I'm pretty good. How are you doing?
I'm not too bad, thank you. We can hear you loud and clear in the studio, so tell us what we'll be doing today and the products you got with you.
Yes, well, we're going to be walking two transmitters, the ADX1 and the ADX1M, which is the tiny miniature transmitter with a built-in antenna. We're going to see how far that goes, considering it doesn't even have a whip antenna. And it's going to be received in two places. It's going to be received by the Wizard of Doz here, with the equipment in his bag, and also from the aerials up on Raycom towers. So we've got two of the receivers, just like we've done before, to see in a real world how it works to a bag and how it works to a big set of antennas. So I'll just throw you over to Doz, who's going to explain what he's got in his bag.
Right, as in our previous walk tests, I've got the usual IEM receiver, my Mix Pre 3 and the brand new Shure ADX5D receiver. As you can see, I've got two of the usual UHF diversity whips and this third stubby antenna here, which is Zigbee, which allows me to remote control both of Pyers' transmitters. So if I just go into ADX1M, for example, that's the miniature transmitter, and I just go down to transmit slots, TX slots, and select that. And because we're doing a walk test, I'm actually going to turn the RF power up to high, so we give it a fair crack of the whip. Low power level, by the way, is 2 milliwatts. Medium power level, or normal power level, is 10 milliwatts, and high power is 20 milliwatts. So there we go. And that's Pyers' transmitter, now set to 20 milliwatts.
So I'm going to start walking then. This is where the fun begins. So I'm listening in my left ear, and you should have on your left speaker or in your left ear when you're watching this, we've got the ADX1M, which is the miniature transmitter, which is the one with the built-in antenna, which we expect that we're going to lose that first because obviously the antenna isn't quite as efficient as the quarter wave whip on the ADX1. I'm listening to not only the guys in the studio, but I'm listening to myself coming back, being received on the receiver, the ADX5D, which is located in our studio, and that's connected to a pair of log periodic antennas sticking out to the roof above the first floor level. So I think I'm certainly still hearing myself very clearly in both these. How am I in the bag, Doz?
Yeah, very good indeed at the moment.
Okay, that's great. So we're as we walk,
just starting to lose the left-hand side slightly.
Okay, so yeah, the miniature transmitter. Yes, I heard a slight drop actually on in my IEM there. But the receiver, what is available, Jack, it's available in all of the UHF bands, but also DME, isn't it?
That's correct, yes. So I've actually got the numbers here for you. So band A is 470 to 636, band B is 606 to 810, and then yes, there is a DME version which is called X56, and that goes up to 1000.
Well, obviously we expect DME to become quite a thing in the coming years as UHF becomes more and more squeezed, so it's good to know that there's a Shure option for that as well.
Yeah, we're pretty much losing the mini transmitter in the bag now.
Okay, well that's not surprising really, given its size. As we've said, the mini transmitter really, it has to be seen to be believed. Actually, it's tiny, and it's all rounded, so it doesn't sort of dig into actors' body as if it's worn sort of in their, I don't know, in their socks or bra or wherever it happens to be. It's very popular with talent.
We're starting to lose the both transmitters now at the back.
We're just coming past the brand new Evesham fire station. So we're just about to go down. There's a ramp here. Now traditionally this causes quite a lot of dropouts because it puts a lot of earth in between me and both sets of antennas. So I'm expecting quite a few dropouts at this point because simply just because of path loss. I'm hearing in my ear. I'm hearing the The big transmitter with the big aerial on it is reasonably solid, but yes, certainly on the big aerials on the first floor, we are starting to lose the small transmitter, which is pretty much exactly what I'd expect, because you'd expect it to be the RF level to be quite a few dB down on that because of the reduced aperture of the antenna and the fact that it's built in. Although it has to be said that the antenna does self-tune. It automatically detects if it's being worn very close to the skin, and it can actually try to tune out the effect of the detuning effect of the skin. So tell us a bit about Jack. Tell us a bit about the ShowLink then, and what you can actually do with it, because this is something that's going to be very new to people working in location sound who are used to having to use like audio tones to remote control equipment.
Yeah, it's any of the transmitter settings that you would normally change via an IR sync, you'll be able to manage via ShowLink. So this is something that first came to the market with the Axient analog system in 2012. Completely revolutionary, because of course forever it's just been the case that the information only travels in one direction. So being able to change things on the fly becomes really useful, and up until this point in Axient Digital, the main application for it has been in arenas, stadiums, festival stages, those big touring applications. But of course it's going to be massively useful to the location sound recorders as well, to be able to change things like frequency and transmitter gain and things of that nature.
Well, and turning up at a location and basically having a completely automatic setup.
Yes, absolutely. Now there is also an extra level of ShowLink that you can put into this system. So what you guys are using downstairs is what we describe as direct mode. So the receiver is just having a direct relationship with those transmitters, and you can change those things. But you can build this into a much bigger Zigbee mesh network using an AD610 access point, and then we get into all sorts of fun things. We can start to have automatic frequency replacement. So if we get interference on a specific frequency, we can deploy a backup that's already pre-programmed and things of that nature. And we can also control everything via a laptop rather than OLED screens, which is really handy.
Yeah, well, we'll be doing some more videos about all of that. So I think I am dropping out a little bit here. I'm going to keep going a bit because I'm going to, in fact, take off the ear that keeps dropping out because it's very distracting. So I'm now just listening to the ADX1, which is the higher power transmitter. Now, it's actually very solid. So this is very, very good performance. We're across the bridge now. George is pressing the button. We're going to have to wait for the lights to change, and then we're going to carry on and see how far this goes. Now,
the copy's pretty solid from the big transmitter, from the ADX1
it's solid in the bag, is it?
It is
Well,
solid in the
that's
bag
really
now,
incredible.
So, yeah, I'm getting snippets of the smaller transmitter.
Yeah, we're a few hundred meters, a good few hundred meters away now. So I've managed to cross the road without getting run over. I think if you keep watching these walk test videos long enough, sooner or later I am actually going to get run over. So it's worth coming back and checking the channel. But yeah, well, this really is very good now. It's absolutely solid. I think I'm hearing it a bit from the miniature transmitter, but from the larger transmitter, this is for a digital system, this is really very, very good indeed.
We're all over in the bag again. There's nothing here, I'm afraid.
Yeah, we've lost the bag, Dawes, I hear. Okay. Yeah, I'm not surprised. I mean, it's starting to drop out a bit now. There's quite a bit in the way. There's buildings and trees and foliage. So I think, we're pretty much, if I turn and face that way, it might work a bit better because I've got the big transmitter. So just to have a quick look at the transmitters again, that's the one that's still coming through loud and clear, and that's the miniature one. So I think, we can say that we've reached the end of the range here, but I think, this is a very, very good performance, especially for a miniaturized receiver, such as the slot receiver that we're showing you today. So I'd like to, I think we'll probably call it a day here. So is anything else we'd like to say in the studio before we say goodbye?
Yeah, actually, I just want to ask Jack a couple of questions because we've got a load of gear in front of us. So I just want to see a little bit more detail about the varieties of applications we can use these in, like we talked about as well before. What have we got here with us? We've got a couple of the transmitters actually Pyers is using, haven't we?
We do, yes. So Pyers has got this. This is the ADX1N that he's been describing. And obviously the big deal with this is it's an internal antenna.
Yeah.
Now you compare that to something like the AD1, which is what we've got here. Pyers has got the ShowLink version of this, which is the ADX1. Looks slightly different because the antennas are slightly different. And it's just a question of what your needs are. So if range is what you need to be able to do, then as we've just seen and heard, a transmitter with a dipole antenna in free space is always going to be the best option.
Of course, yeah.
But if you've got talent and you need to hide a transmitter, you want it to be comfortable, you want it to be something they're going to be able to wear for a long time, or it's just a transmitter you need to hide in quite a complicated costume, then having an internal antenna is really useful. And the other really awesome feature of these ADX1Ms is the fact it is a plastic. It's quite a very special plastic we got called Ultim. And what Ultim has is a temperature transparency. So digital transmitters, they will get hot because there's a lot of active electronics. And if you put something like this, which is metal, up against your body and it was really warm, it's going to get quite uncomfortable after a while. Or even if you just get it out of the case and it's a cold morning, it's going to be cold. Again, not ideal. Ultim keeps the same temperature throughout the majority of its operating range, which is really great for performers that have to wear this in, on their skin for extended periods of time.
Sure, and Pyers actually touched on it as well. Another fantastic feature, we've got that sort of helical internal antenna, and that will automatically adjust itself on it if it detects it against the body. So talk me through that a bit more and sort of how that works.
So if we take this battery out, we end up with just the transmitter on its own. And into this very, very small space, we have built a transmitter that actually has 4 antennas. So we've got the helical that Pyers was describing, which is our primary transmission antenna. We've then got 2 2.4 gigahertz Zigbee antennas in this. We've got 2 because one does the transmit and one does the receive on the Zigbee communication. And then we've got a 4th sensing antenna. And as Pyers was describing, when you put a transmitter up against your body, there is a detuning effect that takes place. So what the 4th antenna does is look at how much detuning is going on, and then it adjusts to compensate for that. So in those like tiny little margins where you are really up against it in terms of RF, you've got a transmitter buried, the environment isn't very good, that extra dB or so that auto tuning is going to allow you to get will really make a difference. That will be the difference between it, being fine and then dropping out.
Sure, amazing. And we've also got a transmitter that's attached to boom pole. We've got handheld mics, all in that same ecosystem as well, that can be used with this ADX5.
ADX5D, that's absolutely correct. And then there's a couple of licenses from Q5X as well. So anyone that's familiar with Q5X will knows what these are. But we've got a player mic and an aqua mic as well. So this is a flexible transmitter, and this is a transmitter that could be submerged. And both of these have the Axient Digital chip inside them. So it's the full chipset. So you get the full operation of Axient Digital with these transmitters.
Perfect. I think that's everything covered in the studio. Pyers,
well,
we're really impressed how far it got.
I'm very impressed, very impressed indeed. I can't wait to listen back when I get back to the studio. So, thanks to you guys in the studio. Thanks to Doz in the gazebo. You can get the champagne and cucumber sandwiches out now. Lovely. And don't forget to hit subscribe because we're going to be doing more of these. And thanks for watching.
Absolutely. From us in the studio, thank you very much for watching, guys. We're here at Raycom, and be proud of your sound. We'll speak to you soon.